Hey everybody, it's Greenwood again with another tutorial video. Today's video, I'm going to talk about midpoint formula. And so as a quick reminder, midpoint formula allows us to calculate the middle between 2 points on a grid. So here are your steps. We'll slide those just over a little bit. So step one, we'll label our x1, x2, y1, and y2. We'll plug those values or substitute them into the formula. And then steps 3 through 5, we can kind of put together into one step, but I want to break it down nice and easy for you, one step at a time. So we add the numerator for each pair. We divide the numerator by 2. And then we write our answer as a coordinate pair, so like it's an x, y pair. So your answer should have a comma in it. And so if you take a peek up at the top of the screen, at the right, you'll see midpoint formula. So we have this x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, comma, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. And it's always a divide by 2 there because we want the midpoint, which is another way of thinking of half. And we know that halfway is dividing into 2 equal pieces. So with that being said, let's take a quick peek and try a problem. So here I've done step 1, my x1, y1, my x2, y2, using lots of color like I like to do. All right, so I'm going to do my x1, which is 7. Plus, this one's always a plus in this formula. X sub 2 is 1, pulling from right here, divided by 2. And so this is step 2 I'm doing right now, comma, I'm just going to write my divided by 2 and close my parentheses to save time on the pen. My y sub 1 is negative 4, plus my y sub 2 is 3. Okay, now we're ready for steps 3, 4, and 5. We're going to add the numerator, which is the top. So 7 plus 1 is 8. I'm going to do this extra step here. This is one you can kind of start to do in your head as you progress through this. And again, I'm just going to do this other side because I know I'm going to do it again. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. And now we just need to divide by 2 and write as an ordered pair. So we'll slide up here just a little bit. So 8 divided by 2 I know is 4. And negative 1 divided by 2 is negative 1/2. So you can leave it as negative 1/2, or you can write it as negative 0.5. You can put it as a decimal. That's always acceptable. All right, so let's slide this up a little bit so you can see the answer there. And that is my solution. So the midpoint between 7, negative 4, and 1, 3 is at 4, negative 0.5. And so at the end here, I'll toss a little graph on here for you to look at so you can see a visual of what that looks like. Let's talk a little bit about the stacking strategy. And this is from Ms. Karkik, who also teaches geometry for us at Rogers and works with our ELD students a lot. So one thing she likes to do is to take the 2 points and stack them up and down. So the x's line up and the y's line up. And then since it's midpoint and we know that the plus in the formula, we just add them together. It's pretty straightforward and simple. Some of you will love this strategy. Some of you it might not make a ton of sense, and that's all right. So we're going to add together. So now we're going to do step 3. So 7 plus 1 is 8. 7 plus 1 is 8. I'll use green here. And negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. And then we're going to divide those by 2. I'll put a comma in here just to remind myself it's a point. Okay, so that's how we got there. And then if we scroll up and see, this is the exact same thing as here. So you end up with this answer. Okay, so some people might call it a shortcut. Some people might call it just a different strategy. So you call it a shortcut or a different way to find midpoint. Okay, and I don't care which one you use. As long as you understand what the formula is and that we're finding the middle, this does the exact same thing. It just looks a little different. Okay, so I will be adding in a picture of a graph here in the middle. Okay, I'm back with the picture for you here. So I was able to come up with the equation of this line and graph it. And so here's I call this point A. So this is 7, negative 4. And this is point B, and that's 1, 3. And so our calculation of 4, negative 0.5, I guess I should have left the y-axis on here. That might have been helpful. So you can see this is counting by 0.5. So this is the middle. It's halfway in between A and B on this line. So that's what we're doing for midpoint and why we're finding it. All right, so I hope this helped you out and helped you understand midpoint a little bit, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.